Have you logged into TikTok and seen this? TikTok is changing their terms of service as of the 29th of December. What does this mean for kink talkers? Fetish content was already disallowed per the last terms of service, but they didn't seem to be heavily enforcing it. But as we've seen over the last couple of weeks, they're enforcing it now, even before the new terms of service go into effect. Why? I theorize because they've added this. Do not post, stream, or share content that glorifies spicy violence. And, this is a big one, content that depicts, promotes, or glorifies spicy solicitation, including offering or asking for spicy partners, spicy chats or imagery, spicy services, premium spicy content, or spice camming. This goes far beyond kink talk. If you have an OF or any other legal spicy service, pay attention. Don't link to any of that stuff, even if it's in a Linktree or similar service. Don't talk about it. This is part of a larger movement to take down spicy content across the entire internet. And that thing that happened last week with that hub site, that's part of it. This is big. Keep watching for more. Before we get to the bigger picture stuff, kink talkers and those that make spicy content, we gotta have a talk. All these months, you got lucky. TikTok is notoriously known as one of the most restrictive social media platforms. I resisted making content here forever because I thought I'd get shut down immediately. Then I saw y'all doing it. But personally, I had to change a lot. I teach about a lot more than just kink. But you know me as a kink talker here, because it's much easier for me to talk about kink in coded language than it is about the G-spots and the P-spots and all the parts. I save that content for other platforms. This place is also known to be notoriously anti-LGBTQ and all sorts of other things. There's currently a petition going around because a very popular trans TikToker who doesn't make spicy content got removed and not reinstated because trolls reported them because they're trans. Hell, even Perez Hilton got taken down. I'm not sure what the story is there, but random. I mean, I know he's kind of a jerk, but yeah. Golden age of TikTok is gone. We were kind of lucky to have it in the first place. So what does what happened with that PH website last week have to do with restrictions on TikTok and Instagram? There's an all-out war being launched right now against legal spicy content on the internet. The war's been going on a long time. I mean, SESTA, FOSTA, all these other laws going back decades. Seriously, listen to the podcast episode and some of my old content. It's a long and sordid story. But this is a new battle in an old war. It started on December 4th. An article in the New York Times by Pulitzer Prize winning Nicholas Kristof. The article was titled "The Children of That Website" and detailed accounts of horrible material about that subject being on the website. That's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Nobody should ever support that. Reading that article was heart-wrenching. And was there some truth to it? Yeah. But was there also a lot of propaganda and things that don't appear as they seem? Yes. Let's go back to 2018. SESTA FOSTA. This was an anti-trafficking effort, and being anti-trafficking is what you should be. But the problem was, it was a stealth anti-spicy work in all shapes or forms movement disguised as anti-trafficking. What politician in their right mind would say no to that because it would seem like they were pro-trafficking? No one wants to be that. Sneaky. This new movement we haven't totally seen the likes of yet is anti-CP, which is amazing. Everyone should be anti-CP. However, there's actually a whole lot of anti-spicy everything wrapped up in that in disguise. When Kristof wrote that article, he did so in conjunction with an evangelical anti-spicy group. They're called Exodus Cry. A quote from the group: "Every time we engage in licentious schmexual activity, we come into agreement with Satan." There's a lot more. To recap what happened over the last week with that hub website. Per Kristof's article, underage material was found on the site. Visa and Mastercard severed their relationship with the whole company, which is really big. Now, the site was a tube site. Like YouTube, anyone could upload anything. Performers have been asking for a year to only allow people that were verified and showed IDs to upload on the site. Of course, they were ignored. Now that Visa and Mastercard took their privileges away, the site has now disallowed any content that isn't made by verified creators. They had about 13 million videos on the site, and they deleted about 10 million of them. All of this is good. But here's the sneaky part. Through outside investigation, 118 instances of this kind of material was found on that website. That is 118 too many. There is no excuse for that. But Facebook, in the last 3 months, 12.4 million instances of that kind of material being found on that site. Twitter's closed over 250,000 accounts in the last 6 months for the same reason. The plot thickens. By the way, all those statistics were from Christov's article. He laid these facts right at our feet. Again, even one instance of that kind of material on any site is inexcusable. But that PH site had lots of measures in place to try to prevent that from being uploaded, although a few did slip through the cracks. You've tried to report stuff to Facebook, right? Stuff you know shouldn't be there. I don't care. Why is a crusade being launched against a website that has 118 instances of this, but not the one with 12.4 million over the last 3 months? Because as Exodus Cry said, those folks are coming into agreement with Satan. People doing legal spicy work that are by far marginalized people, many of whom have come into this work over the last year because the pandemic has rendered them unemployed. This is the bigger picture, going after consensual, legal, spicy content, and those that make it. So what does this mean for mainstream social media and you? You've been getting terms of service change notifications from every damn platform over the last, month or so? And compare those changes to their last terms of service. They're all getting very specific about spicy activity. Specifically about linking to consensual adult content sites, promoting that kind of material, or talking about it. Also, who gets wrapped up in that? Folks that talk about LGBTQ identity that have nothing to do with spiciness. Educators on the topic. Doctors that talk about intimate things. Products used for intimate wellness. Even those that are considered medical devices. And the nail in the coffin is going to be when Section 230 gets repealed. Trump wanted to repeal it. Biden wants to repeal it. Just because we're blue now doesn't mean everything's peachy keen great. Even though changes here on TikTok seem like a real bummer, know that there's a bigger picture. And if you're a legal spicy content creator, their goal is to shut you down. So if you just listen to my whole series of videos on adult legal spicy content censorship and you're like, oh my God, there's a huge big picture, what? Go listen to episode 148 of my podcast, American Sex, where we talk all about it. I post different things about censorship on different social media, so there's a lot there too. Also look in the comments on this video series. I'll embed links to different articles where you can read more. If you're an American fucker, which means you listen to my podcast, American Sex, that's what my listeners are called. Every single episode we start with, we're dedicated to normalizing conversations about pleasure and alternative sexual expression by challenging those puritanical, backward-ass ideals we have here in the United States. And we hear that and go, oh yeah, the U.S., we're so puritanical, really. No, really, we are. There's an evangelical group influencing big business, banks, the government. This is really happening. This is going to be a tough fight, but it starts with education. Start learning about this stuff so you can fight back.